Regina Sanchez here, your spiritual life and health coach. Welcome to my podcast, Giving You a Fresh Start. My heart is to help you revive the joy in your life, rejuvenate your God-given destiny, and restore your body to health. Grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a glass of spring water with a splash of lemon and sit back. Take notes if you can, and enjoy the teaching I'm about to embark on. Let's get started, giving you a fresh start. Good morning, friends. Thanks for joining me this morning on my podcast, Giving You a Fresh Start. And I hope you are as excited as I am to have a fresh start each and every day. And know that when we wake up in the morning, we have a fresh start. Actually, any moment of the day, we have a fresh start. We can start fresh and new in any issue in our life that we feel like we need a fresh start in. So welcome again to my podcast, Giving You a Fresh Start. And today's topic is, our bodies want to be healthy. Yes, that is truth. Our bodies have been designed and created by the most incredible designer in the world, in the universe. And that designer created our body to heal itself. You know, and I say this all the time in my teachings, and I believe it is absolute truth, right? Our bodies have been designed to heal itself. Just think about getting a cut. You know, our body knows what to do to bring healing to that cut. Yeah, you may put some medication on it. Yeah, you may put a Band-Aid on it to stop it from bleeding. But it's our body that knows how to heal that cut. Well, our body wants to heal itself of any and all sicknesses. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say this. It just needs the right tools to get you healthy. You know, sickness is our body's best attempt to deal with a bad set of circumstances. It's actually signaling, to us that something's wrong, and it wants to get it right. So it's manifesting itself in a sickness. You know, it could be signaling to you that, hey, you're wearing yourself down by not getting enough sleep, or, you know what? You're eating a little too much sugar or bad carbs, or you're just drinking too much soda. The body's in trouble. Or, hey, this job you're on is causing you so much stress and it's wearing down your immune system. Or that relationship you're in, it's really not healthy and you need to consider other options. Or, you know, it could be telling you that, hey, your emotions are so out of balance that your immune system has become so weak, it cannot fight off a sickness. Whatever it might be that your sickness is trying to tell you, it's best that you listen and then take the steps to make the changes needed, and not just put a Band-Aid on it or get on medication by putting a Band-Aid on it, right? You know, you got that cut and you put that Band-Aid on it. The Band-Aid isn't necessarily to bring healing. That Band-Aid is kind of there to maybe keep the germs out of it or stop it from bleeding. But that Band-Aid is not healing your body. Of that cut, your body is healing it. Well, today I want to talk to you about your emotions. You know, there's so many studies out there showing now that emotional imbalances are causing 80 to 90% of our diseases. That's right. Emotional imbalances can bring on many, many disease. Disease like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disease, you know, just to name a few. And the root can be found to having emotional imbalances. So what do we do with those emotional imbalances? Well, I mean, I think the first step is we need to get to the root of what's causing it. You know, what in your lifestyle is causing this emotional imbalance? And then once you uncover that and decide, because you do have to decide, and you're the only one that can decide, to start making those lifestyle changes, You might need some, support to help bring that emotional imbalance. Let's say you have this high level of stress and anxiety. And let's say, your job is causing it, or a relationship you're in is causing it. Well, maybe while you're in the process of trying to work through that change that needs to be made, because changes aren't always instant. Sometimes we need the courage to make a change in a relationship, right? You might need courage to make that change as to whether you need to speak up more, you need to set some boundaries, or you need to end it, because that's always a possibility. Or, if it's a job and the job is causing you stress, maybe you need to leave the job and find another job, and that doesn't happen overnight. So you're going to need to make those changes, but those changes can take some time. So while you are making those changes, get some support. It could be in a way of supplement like ashwagandha or magnesium or vitamin D or saffron or omega-3s or chamomile or L-theanine or vitamin C or curcumin or CBD, whatever supplement you may choose to help aid you to bring some calmness to your body. And your body will respond to the one that works. What works for one might not work for another. And that's the beauty of our divinely created bodies. We are bio-individuals. If there was anything I learned in my coaching certification, was that we are bio-individuals. So what may work for me in any circumstance may not work for you. You need to get in tune with your body and understand what your body responds to. Your body will respond to what it needs. But another support, and my focus for this podcast today, is to talk to you about the support of using essential oils. Now, I love my essential oils. I love them. And I have been a user since 2015, and I am a strong advocate. And since then, I've been educating myself over the years about oils and have really worked at what works for me. But why essential oils for emotions? Well, no matter what age, lifestyle, or geographic location we're in, the one thing humans have in common is that we all experience emotions. Because we're individuals and we respond emotionally, we respond to emotions very differently. There's no blanket way to handle our emotions. Emotions, they say, are mysterious. They can be complex. We each have different ways we respond to and cope with our emotions. Like you could be dealing with an angry person in your life, and I may deal with that angry person differently than you deal with. I may struggle with anger. I may be like, I don't like to be around angry people, and if you're going to be an angry person, I don't want you in my life. Where you may say, I could brush it off. So each of us handle our emotions in such a different way. A lot depends on maybe traumas you've experienced in life, what triggers are still there because of unhealed traumas, or you just may have a low tolerance for certain emotions in people. We're all very different. But the one thing we do have in common is that our emotions do affect the quality of our life and are very influential in shaping our motivations, our learning, our creativity, or just our overall life. So unchecked emotions can seriously affect our quality of life. And we all must experience positive emotions. And then we really need to learn to deal with the negative ones. In this life, we will not escape from negative emotions. We just want to be sure that we have more positive ones in our life than negative ones. But we will always have negative emotions. There'll always be negative circumstances that come upon us. Unfortunately, we do not, and we will not, while we're here on this earth, live in a perfect environment. Our emotions respond to our environment, and that could include our physical location or the people we surround ourselves with or the activities we engage in or a multitude of other factors. But these are factors that are in our control many times, and then some factors that are not in our control. Our brain will process these factors and determine how to respond. Like what's a factor that you might live in that, let's say you live near, these new 5G cell towers. Well, studies coming out about what it's emitting is not really healthy. Now, maybe it doesn't affect me if I lived near a cell tower, but maybe it'll affect you. And so, it is something that's out of your control. Can't take down the tower. You could move, but there are certain circumstances that are out of our control. So the ones that are in our control make those changes. But our brain will process these factors and determine how to respond. And the response we get will lead to some sort of action. And it's usually based on our prior experiences or our survival instincts. So if in the past you've dealt with an angry parent, and if that's not been healed, if you've not received the healing from that, then your body will respond to your angry boss or an angry friend or an angry spouse or something, which will then lead you into taking a certain action. So what are the difference in emotions? Well, simple. It's very simple. Positive emotions uplift our mood and will motivate us to act in a way that will move us along in life or a specific situation. It positively lifts us up. It positively encourages us, motivates us, excites us. Whereas negative emotions literally pull us down. And they can cause us to act in certain ways, and most times not in a good way. If we feel a negative emotion, or if we leave this negative emotion unchecked, it will alter our health. Leave it unchecked permanently. I mean, you could deal with the negative emotion at work and, learn to just brush it off, and then you're okay. But if that negative emotion stays with you and you go home and you don't sleep well that night because what happened during the day is still bothering you, then that will begin to affect your health. So how do we handle these negative emotions? Well, we must learn to have good coping skills. Some people find that when they're stressed, exercising, or going out for a walk in nature takes those negative emotions away. Or some find just sitting quietly and meditating or opening their Bible and getting in God's Word to remove the stress and the anxiety, that works for some people. Sadly, though, some find, alcohol or drugs removes that stress and anxiety. But that's kind of deceiving because it's only for that short time while they're, ingesting that substance. Because when the effects of the alcohol or the drug wear off, you're back to that negative emotion. And sometimes it's exasperated. So another way to deal with the negative emotions is through truly essential oils. And aromatherapy is a great way to support bringing you out of a negative state. I have had situations where I could feel, my blood pressure. If I had a blood pressure cuff, I would take it, to see, because I could feel like my blood pressure has raised up because of the stress that I might be dealing with. And I have found that I will just take my lavender essential oil and literally breathe deeply. I just open the bottle and breathe it. I may put a little application on me, but I breathe it in. I take 3 big, deep breaths, and I literally can feel, my blood pressure decrease. So that's something that works for me. But essential oils have been used way back in biblical times. It's not a new fad or a new trend. They have been around as long as the earth has been here. And there are many, many historic examples of aromatherapy, as well as recent research and scientific findings, what essential oils can do for managing moods. But aromatherapy was used in ancient civilization like the Greeks and the Romans and the Chinese and the Indians. And they were using it a lot in religious ceremonies or other rituals. For example, the Babylonians and the Assyrians would burn frankincense during a religious ceremony due to its warm aroma that would help promote feelings of peace and relaxation. Or the ancient Roman soldiers would use fennel before going into battle because it helped them feel strong and brave. So while the idea of aromatherapy has changed since these ancient times, or from these cultures, we've learned that essential oils help influence emotions. So are you familiar with aromatherapy? It's literally breathing the aroma in, whether you choose to diffuse it, put a few drops in the palm of your hand and just breathe it in, or apply it on your body and breathe it in, or spray it in a spritzer and breathe it in. But that's considered aromatherapy. So they've used it. It's been around really for a very, very long time. Because the ancient cultures, they recognized the power of these oils. But it really wasn't until the 20th century that the term aromatherapy really became officially used. And it was around the 1990s that scientists were able to prove the connection scientifically between essential oils and mood management. And this research shows how the brain reacts to the different aromas. So why use essential oils to manage your mood? Well, number one, it is a safe and natural way to manage your mood. They come from natural resources, and there's no chemicals in them. At least they have pure, or at least the pure ones do. Always be sure to know the company you're buying your oils from. Seeing a deal at Marshall's or places as such, I would stay away from. If you're getting a real cheap oil, it's probably a real cheap oil. And it may be mixed with chemicals and a few drops of the essential oil to give it that fragrance. Be very careful, about where you do purchase your oils from. Make sure you understand, the compositions and how they process their oils. And if you can get a GCMS report on each oil, that's helpful. So what's another reason why essential oils are good to manage your mood? Well, the second reason is it generates a quick response. And you can have this quick response with a small amount of oil, like just a drop. And literally, like I said, when I feel my blood pressure and my face gets red, and it actually affects one side of my face and my ear, I could feel it. My ear is burning and my face is red on one side. I'm not sure why it's one side of my face, but that's what happens to me. And I'm telling you that when I breathe in that oil, and I may have to do it a few times, the redness in my face, my ear, it just goes away. And I could feel the calmness coming upon me. So it generates a pretty quick response. Now, lavender might not work for you. You may need another oil. But lavender works for me. The third reason to use essential oils to manage your mood is it provides a simple method, and it can be used along with other methods. You can take a supplement and use your essential oils. But it's simple. It's simple to use essential oils. It's not complicated. And then the fourth reason is the aroma of essential oils can get past the blood-brain barrier, unlike a supplement. A supplement cannot. But the essential oil, breathing it in or applying it on your body, can get past your blood-brain barrier. So how does the brain process these aromas? Well, when we inhale a specific aroma, that aroma is processed through different parts of the brain, actually in a special order. First, it's processed in the brain's olfactory. This is where the brain controls the sense of smell. The olfactory is connected to the limbic system, which is in the part of the brain where emotions and memories are stored. So it goes from the olfactory into the limbic system. Now, that connection to the limbic system will cause a response to the aromas based on your memories associated with that smell. And that's why, creating some memories with the aromas is key to your body. And the response that the limbic system produces can cause an immediate rush of feelings known as an emotional response, depending on the oil you inhaled. If you inhaled something that's uplifting, like a citrus oil, then you might, begin to start feeling like joyful or happy or refreshed. Whereas if you, inhaled an oil such as lavender or a cedar wood or, any of the woodsy oils, relaxing oils, you'll begin to start feeling a sense of calmness. But, remember, certain aromas can produce certain emotions by triggering our memories and then creating an emotional response. So my body knows, and my limbic system knows that when I breathe in that lavender oil, it's time to relax. And it brings on that state of relaxation. Everyone has different memories and different life experiences. So it's important to use the oil that will create a specific response for you. And sometimes it's trial and error. It was trial and error for me. And there are a handful of oils that are pretty commonly used. But if an oil doesn't work for you, don't write off oils. Now, most oils are from plants, fruits, or plant materials. And as an example, let's take peppermint or the mints. They are high in ketones. And that gives you an uplifting, energizing, invigorating emotion. Floral oils are comprised of monoterpenes, alcohols, or esters. And floral oils are known to promote toning and a calming property. Citrus oils are also monoterpenes, and they in them is known as beta-pinene or limonene, and they have strong uplifting properties. And then your trees, grass, and herbs are I don't know if I'm going to say these right, sesquiterpenes, esters, and oils. And they promote soothing and grounding feelings. Initially, I didn't like these oils, the trees and the grass and the herbs, but I have to say over time, I remember the first time, when I first started using oils, the person that introduced me to the oil says, I'm going to send you some samples. And she sent me, I think, a cedar wood and a vetiver. I did not like them. So I kind of tucked them aside. But I had ordered, actually, when I did place my first order, I ordered a big grouping of oils, a pretty big size of oils. And I really only wanted frankincense, to be honest. Frankincense and maybe lavender. And I ended up with maybe a dozen oils. And I received the oils and I was like, okay, now what am I going to do with all these oils? And so I just tucked them into my cabinet. I'll tell you, not shortly, it was shortly after I had purchased the oils that I needed to use them on my son who was not feeling well. And we put a little On Guard and oregano on the bottom of his feet, and up he went and off to work he went. So It was interesting. But I did not like the trees, the vetivers and the cedar woods at all. But now I love them. I crave them. So, your body knows what it needs. Um, and then we have spice oils, which are mostly compromised of phenols. And they give a very warming characteristic, like the clover and the cinnamon and the cassia. So, what are some calming oils? Well, some of those could be clary sage, eucalyptus, frankincense, geranium, jasmine, juniper berry, lavender, Roman chamomile, ylang ylang, cedarwood. And then uplifting oils are some of them. I'm probably not listing them all here, but just to give you an example, things like cypress or Douglas fir or grapefruit or lemon, lime, peppermint, white fir, wild orange. Now I have a diffuser in my bedroom and I have a diffuser in my office that's going right now as I work. And I always, in my office, I always put a mint. I might do peppermint or wintergreen, which I love. And spearmint, I'm not as crazy about. I actually prefer peppermint over spearmint. Um, and I don't even think I have a spearmint. I think I'm out of it. But I, one of those three oils, it always goes into my diffuser. And then I will add something else, what I feel. Like when I started using the oils, I only used peppermint and lemon or peppermint and wild orange every day in my office to, you know, get my juices flowing. And it was so helpful, especially if I had a bad night's sleep and I felt groggy or I had, brain fog. The peppermint would just open up my brain, open up my mind, and just kind of motivate me to get into the day. So in my office, I have a diffuser. And in my bedroom, I have a diffuser. Every single night, I diffuse. Um, and I'll either use an oil that doTERRA has called Serenity. And then the next night, I'll mix it up with lavender. The Serenity has lavender in it and a number of other oils. But the night that I don't use the Serenity, my base is lavender, and I'll add juniper berry or bergamot or cedarwood or a combination of some oils. So I alternate every other night. I don't know. I don't want to get used to an oil or feel like my body is so used to it it's not responding. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I do. So we each have to create our own personalized experience for the emotional needs we need to deal with. And like I said, what works for me may not work for you. Listen to your body, learn about your body, and then find out what works for you. So let me ask you, what emotional needs do you need to bring into balance? If you're living with a high level of negative emotions, please deal with it. I lived this way for way too long because of the trauma from my past. And it was actually embedded into my soul. And it didn't take much to trigger a negative emotion with me. I had to dig deep and work hard to be freed from that trauma. And that's why my heart and my mission in my business is to help women be free. We do not need to live, bound up and in a prison or hating our life. And we can enjoy all of life and live in a realm of peace that we are meant to have, in spite of what might be going around us or happening around us, and even what's happening in the world. The Bible talks a lot about peace. And the Hebrew word for peace is shalom. I don't know if you ever heard a Jewish person, praying shalom over someone. But shalom, it means peace. And I love what the Hebrew definition of shalom or peace is. Listen to this. It's so powerful. This word means more than peace. It means wholeness, wellness, well-being, safe, happy, friendly, favor, completeness. To make peace, to be a peace offering, to be secure, to prosper, to be victorious, to be content, tranquil, quiet, restful. It means to restore in the sense of replacing or providing what is needed in order to make someone or something whole and complete. Shalom is used to describe those of us who have been provided all of this as needed to be whole and complete and to break off the authority that would attempt to bind us to chaos. I love this definition of shalom, of peace. It is so powerful. You know, who doesn't want to feel safe, or who doesn't want to feel happy or whole? I know I do. You know, I finally got so tired of living in that place of chaos, and I made a decision to be healed from the trauma in my past. As hard as it was to face, and it was hard. So my friend, don't stay there if that's you. If you cannot say that you have shalom in your life, then make a decision right now to start bringing about that change. And if it seems overwhelming, then let's work together to bring shalom into your life. When you are finally there, you're going to wonder why it took so long or why you waited so long. Because sometimes that lack of peace in our life has become our friend on some level, as crazy as it sounds. So bring that peace, live in that peace. Know that that peace is your rightful right to live. And lastly, as a way to help support your emotions, consider using essential oils. And so down below, you're going to find a PDF that will identify different essential oils and their properties. And it will help you decide, okay, which oils can I try or can I use for the emotional response that I'm looking to receive. You know, and of course, if this PDF isn't enough and you want some help and you have some questions, please, I really ask you to just reach out. And if you don't have any questions and you just want to get started, there'll be a link below to get started using oils if you don't have any and you don't know where to get them. I personally use doTERRA. I've used them since 2015, and I do love their oils. So if you want to just get started, there's a link below to help you do that. But as always, know that you are loved and you are appreciated. And I just am so grateful that you took the time to listen. I hope that you find these teachings to be uplifting, encouraging, and let you know that you're loved, appreciated, and that you can live in peace. So God bless, and thanks so much for listening. Have a beautiful day. Well, thank you, my friends, for taking the time to listen to my podcast. I hope you found it uplifting and encouraging, and that it guides you to having peace, joy, love, and health in your life. If you would like more information on the services I offer, go to my website, reginasanchez.com. Or if you're ready to dive into my teachings, head on over to givingyouafreshstart.com. This is where I will teach you how to start fresh on different aspects of your life. You can also find my book, Can I Have Your Heart, Daddy, on Amazon. Be blessed, be encouraged, and know that you are loved.